Good morning, everyone. Guys, national service is being whispered about again and it's going through the media mill. Now, I'll be honest with you, I said I can't ever see national service being implemented in the United Kingdom. I thought it would be something like, they would make it very difficult for people to avoid national service while not calling in national service. But with Keir Starmer's Britain, with Keir Starmer at the helm, I am not ruling anything out. Like I've been saying, guys, we've got this young generation now of kids at high school or comprehensive school who they are really going to be the backbone of this country when it has to be rebuilt. So from an article from the, I'll put this link in the description, from the Telegraph yesterday. Thousands of teenagers should do national service for a year. Senior Labour figures. Keir Starmer urged to introduce a short, it's never short, national service limited commission for 18-year-olds who would receive apprenticeship level pay. So for those of you who've been following it, the state of the armed forces in the United Kingdom is absolutely diabolical. They don't get paid enough. Their facilities are substandard, and by substandard I mean substandard to those facilities that we give to migrants. And that's not just me saying it, guys. There's studies out there, there's reports done, people have complained about this, people have been whistleblowers, and it's out there in the open. Now, if we're heading towards a huge calamity and a huge world war, how are we going to get these people to fill these boots? How are we going to get this mass manpower? And, it reminds me of the movie, it's a Scorsese movie, Gangs of New York, when the Irish are coming straight off the boats and they're being ushered towards towards like a table, and they're saying, right, sign there to become an American citizen, sign there to enlist in the army. And they're just coming in and going straight to the army. And that really happened, guys. That really happened in America. And it seems like at the moment we have got this mass influx of people in the United Kingdom, and there's nowhere to put them unless we continue. Let's just say, for example, that every migrant in the UK, well, they're not migrants, everybody in the UK that's come over on a boat, let's just say they're going to stay. Where are they going to live? They're going to live in hotels for the rest of their lives? No, they need to be put in. If they're going to stay, and guys, I don't think they should, but if they do stay, and if Starmer comes up with the bright idea that, I actually think it's a good idea. I think we should just, destroy our communities that we've built over hundreds of years, then they're going to need houses. And just physically, logistically, we don't have enough houses. We don't have enough material to build the houses, and we don't have enough builders to build the houses with the materials that we don't have. So the whole thing is a huge problem, and the solution's easy. You just stop the boats from coming. That would sort everything out. But it seems like nobody wants to stop these boats. Now, I've done previous videos, guys, and keep following the why. Keep following the why. Okay, why are they doing this? Why are they doing this? Who's telling them? Why are they telling them? Because of this. Why? And keep following that back, and you will come to a terrifying conclusion. Now, let me just share this with you quickly. It's Labour's defence policy. So they're going to talk about how the Conservatives have failed in defence. It's really telling to me, or when somebody wants to say something, they say what somebody else has done bad before them. So it kind of says, yeah, look how rubbish they were. We're at least not as rubbish as them. So what is Labour's defence policy? As the party that helped found NATO and establish the UK's nuclear deterrent, defence is in our DNA. We could definitely argue that one, couldn't we? Try defending our borders. Labour will strengthen Britain's defences, maintain an unshakable commitment to NATO and our nuclear deterrent. There, we definitely need that. Conduct a strategic defence review in our first year in government to fully understand our armed forces. I mean, I think you should understand the armed forces, or the state of our armed forces, the nature of threats we face and the capabilities needed. Do you know what? Don't wait a year. Don't waste your money. Literally, I'll do that for free right now. I'll do it now. Come and speak to me, Kia. I'll tell you that. It'll take me an hour. I'll give you the best comprehensive rundown. It won't be biased. And if you take my advice, we'll have a strong military. Improve morale by tackling the poor state of service accommodation. It is, guys. You know, I've seen some of these images online of the accommodation that the service people, you know, soldiers, sailors, airmen are living in. And it really is terrible when you think of the 4- and 5-star hotels that boat people are getting. Service accommodation, and establish an armed forces commissioner as a strong independent voice to improve service life. Now, this is the problem here, guys. You know, armed forces commissioner, who will be getting paid from someone, so they will be biased as to whoever's paying them. So I don't think this is going to do anything. I think this is just going to cost more money. Take a more strategic approach to procurement. So strategic will be long term. I don't know what they mean here, but the red tape that you have to jump through to sell to the military is absolutely unbelievable. It makes a lot of smaller companies just, you know, they just don't want to sell to the military because it's not worth their time. Boosting British industry, reinforcing national resilience and strengthening NATO. So before I resign from Reform, guys, where I live in my local area, there's 2 companies. The first company make they don't make Land Rovers at all. They make off-road vehicles with more capacity and a lot better than Land Rover, you know, than the Land Rover Defender that they sell to the military. There's another company a little bit further down the road. They do carbon fiberglass composites. Now, both these companies could be heavily involved in the defense industry. The fiberglass company could be upscaled to do carbon fiber rather than fiberglass. And guys, I don't want to get into that, but you know, to make drones or aircraft, disposable aircraft. Now, I spoke to both of these people, you know, when I was trying to stand for Reform before I resigned. And I've said to them, I said, guys, why haven't you guys bidded for military contracts? And both of them said, we've tried, there's too much red tape, it's pointless, it's a closed book. And that's the problem, you know. All the money goes to these big primes because we have late stage defense contracting, you know, so all the money goes to these big primes. They 10x the price. You've got politicians and people in government who are absolutely clueless, like Keir Starmer. So Keir Starmer will do his review, and his review will be done by some colonel or some general, you know, who's left the military, because you can't have a review done by someone who's in the military. That's like, you know, that's like asking a prisoner what punishment they should have, you know. So that will be done by a colonel or somebody independent outside of the military, but with military experience, because they're going to have military experience. If they don't have military experience, they won't know what to look for. But the problem is they will then be more than likely working for a big prime, and that big prime will then be saying, hey, I don't know, Colonel Jones, if you say X, Y, and Z and make X, Y, and Z recommendations and tell us what they are, we can bid for that contract, and then we'll give you a cushy job with a lucrative salary. And that's how it's been working, guys. And that's how it's worked for, dare I say, hundreds of years. And that is the state of defense in the United Kingdom at the moment. And then when all this equipment goes wrong, when everything fails, guess who they have to rely on? The soldiers on the ground, who they are going to be recruiting, they're going to be press ganging, and they are potentially going to be giving national service. So that's it, guys. It's out in the open. National service could be coming back. Like I said, I don't ever think it's going to be called national service. Although under Keir Starmer's Britain, you know, guys, I'm not saying nothing will happen, because, you know, we are in for a wild time. But that's it, guys, okay? So national service looks like it's going to be on the cards for the next couple of weeks. It'll probably come up, come down, come up, come down. Then somebody will have the idea to say, because remember when we did the video on the Afghan special forces trained by the British SAS? And guys, remember, I always caveat this by saying there's no such thing as Afghan special forces. But, you know, there was a couple of articles released saying, we've got these holes in the military, the holes in the infantry. We've got all these Afghan special forces, and guys, I can't call them special forces. What should we call them? Afghan military. We've got all these Afghan military who want to join the army, who know how the military works, but they can't get in the military because of the requirement at the recruiting office. Now, as soon you can see now, can't you? You can see the pathway of these unrelated things. So on this side, you've got the Afghans. We're Afghan soldiers. We want to join the military. We want to give you guys a good service. We're already trained. We know how things work. And then on this side, you've got national services coming. And then over here and over there, you've got these hundreds of thousands potentially of migrants, male migrants, at the warfighting age. So you see how all these things are going to be sliding towards the same conclusion at some point when this war is called. And guys, the situation in Ukraine is getting worse and worse. So that's kind of it at the moment, guys. This is just one to watch, because I think that's the direction that things are going to be pushing. Anyway, guys, I am going back to grid. I will speak to you guys soon, and then I will be answering your comments.